So real quick, we're gonna see if we can fit this in 2 minutes. Um,
That's how long we have.
um, Gillette. Gillette,
Yes,
the best,
Gillette,
the best a
the
man
best a
can.
man can get.
That's right. They put out a video, a very long commercial, asking if this toxic masculinity that's taking over America is the
Yes.
best a man can get.
Yeah.
Now,
Did you watch it?
Oh yeah, I watched it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched it. And was it pandering to the left? Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The question I have is, of what they put in the video, were they wrong about anything?
So here. This is another one of those examples, guys, where no one is right except for me and Matt. Which is often, most of the time, actually.
Mm-hmm.
This is being framed one of two ways. This is your Hegelian dialectic, or Hegelian, however you say that,
However you say
dialectic,
that, yeah.
where you are presented with two options that are both terrible and wrong. The pro-Gillette ad side is saying, this is the message that America desperately is starved to hear, and you need to hear it. And then you've got the anti-Gillette side saying, this is an attack on the very basis of masculinity, and they want to
Are you
emasculate
trying
us.
to sound like Jordan Peterson?
No, but yes. Yes.
Okay,
I think subconsciously, yes.
yeah, because you sounded just like him when you did.
I'm not going to say it.
I'm not gonna say it.
I don't care what they do to me. If it's a guy, I'm going to call him a guy. So I want to have him on my show eventually, guys. So, I don't want to go too hard at him. But, yeah, it's, the very, you're right. It did sound like him, didn't I?
You did. You sounded exactly like him when you did that. And I was like, are you doing, you sounded like him earlier when doing another thing. And I was like, are you trying to do Jordan Peterson? Like,
yes. Yeah, absolutely. Totally. That was pure Jordan Peterson. I hope everyone enjoyed it. So, they're saying you're attacking, masculinity itself. And, they're just trying to, it's a war on boys. And, here's what I got from the ad, which means it's correct. Because I said it.
Right.
And Matt just said it too. If you watch the ad, if you take out all of the front-loaded, bias in politics that are so heavily intertwined with it, and just look at the so if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. It's like, I think 2 minutes long.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's long for a commercial, but it's not 10 minutes. It's a couple minutes. You'll be all right. It shows a bunch of scenarios of men doing bad things, right? So one is a guy stopping a woman while she's trying to talk at a board meeting and saying, well, what she's trying to say is,
man, that one was so pandering. God, that was dumb.
Right. So then another one where it's like a sitcom, but and there's like a maid that's like bent over doing something, and the guy comes over and makes like he's gonna grab her, and then he's like, like that, and the male audience is laughing at his antics, where he's kind of making like he's gonna attack her, basically. And then there's another
lots
one.
of children being bullied.
Yeah, there's a lot of children
being
boys being bullied, being chased and called names. And the big one that people keep referencing is there's this line of guys grilling. They all have grills in front of them, and there are these two boys wrestling, and one of them is just on top of the other one and just wailing on him and really beating him up. Like, it's no longer.
But you only you only see that for like a second.
Yeah,
you only see the beating for a second. So like when I saw that, because I watched the video twice, and so when the first time I saw it, I was like, it was two guys wrestling. Yeah, it is boys will be boys. And then I went back and I watched it again. I was like, okay, well that one is on top and hitting him.
Yeah,
but you see it for such a short time, you don't know what happened right before that.
Yeah, the first time that you see it, it's kind of like, yeah, it's two boys wrestling. There isn't really much wrong with that. But when if you look at it again, and then when he breaks it up, it is one just really just beating up the other one. And the guys are all sitting there going, boys will be boys, will be boys, will be boys. And so it gives all these different things, and it says, is this the best a man can get? And then it shows men stepping in and stopping these things from happening. Yeah. And stopping like the kid from hurting the other one and saying, no, that's not how we treat people. And another one where a guy is dragging his son over to stop some boys from bullying another boy. And his boy watches that. And then it cuts to, at each of these times where a guy is stepping in and stopping this other thing from happening, another boy is watching. and it's saying, you know, because these boys will be the men and we're showing them that there's a better way to be a man or something. This is the best a man can get.
Right. Nothing that they said in there was wrong.
Nothing. There was nothing. None of these obviously cartoonish examples of men doing something bad. None of these things were. All of these were things that it was good that they were being stopped. There was nothing. It was so true that it was basically a truism. And here's the problem with that. Not a problem, but here's the thing with that. No one disputes that those are bad things. I don't know a single person who says, yeah, it's a good thing for boys to like cyberbully a kid and then chase him home and threaten to beat him up,
right?
And you know, corner him in an alley. I've never seen anyone say, yeah, it's okay to wrestle, but to the point where you're actually like beating up another kid who isn't even fighting back. I've never seen anyone say it's good to like make jokes about that you're gonna molest a woman. I've never heard someone say it's good to interrupt anyone, that it's good to, you know, stop someone from talking and, you know, eliminate their agency and talk on their behalf, even though they don't want you to. No one is seriously saying these are good things. So then what was the point of making a 2-minute long ad about it?
Right.
So it was virtue
signaling to
exactly.
Exactly. It was virtue signaling to the left about, look, we're Gillette, we care, because roughly 40% of the people who buy our products are women.
Are they?
I mean, I'm just guessing on that one, but they make.
Okay, I see. I didn't know the breakdown. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just guessing. Like, roughly 40% of women are going to be buying Gillette razors because, you know, while many women have slowly figured out that men's razors are cheaper and work better, they are now buying men's razors, and they aren't designed for women, as they say, which means pink packaging, and now they cost more.
While an increasing number of men are growing out their beards to absurd, in my opinion, lengths,
right,
including myself occasionally.
And so the right led a lot by, which was like Ben Shapiro, Glenn Beck, Milo Yiannopoulos. Yeah, Milo Yiannopoulos, a few others. They were all going hard against this video, and I watched it, and I was like, why? Why? They're virtue signaling to the women because they're trying to increase the sales that women are giving them, but they aren't actually saying anything that's incorrect.
Right. There's nothing. It is not what it was being. When I first heard it, I'm like, man, this ad must be garbage. Like, it must be like man bad, all man bad. And I went on and I'm like, there's nothing about this ad I find objectionable.
Right.
It would be the equivalent of if I made an ad saying, let's say I own a restaurant, and I go and I show these scenes of, you know, the Klan attacking black people, or, you know, people yelling at someone because he's Muslim, and I step in and go, hey, you, I'm against the Klan attacking black people, and I go over to hey guys, leave him alone, just because he's a Muslim, he's not bothering you, come eat at Spike's Chicken Shack. There's nothing I've said that's objectionable, but it's just, there's also nothing I've said that's particularly brave or groundbreaking. I'm just virtue signaling. I'm just saying, hey guys, I also am against racism and you know, bigotry, and which there's nothing inherently bad about that, but there's also nothing terribly groundbreaking or powerful. Or it would be like during the civil rights era, someone coming in and going, I'm against slavery. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good that you're against slavery. Is there something you'd like to contribute to this?
So is pretty much everybody else in the nation.
So is almost everyone at this point, and no one who is in favor of slavery was just convinced by what you did. Right. So that's my big thing, is that I think Gillette just did what Nike did, which is that that
was the exact example I was going to do.
They injected themselves into something in the least controversial way they could, knowing that just their involvement in it would become controversial, that it wouldn't really hurt their downside much, because at the end of the day, how many people are truly going to be like, I'm not buying Gillette because of a YouTube video that I may or may not have even seen? And how long are they going to do that?
And odds are, most of the people who aren't going to buy Gillette anymore because of this video didn't see the video.
That's the other thing. Right. So, and they got a bunch of earned media from it. Like, I mean, Nike made billions from that. Yeah. And if you watch the Colin Kaepernick video, the Colin Kaepernick Nike video, it was so tame. Nothing in it could have been objectionable to any decent person.
It was just the fact that they used him.
Yeah, which is and it's why they did it that way, because if you really watch it, it's like, he didn't say, I'm kneeling now because the police are bad, which I'm with you, but it wasn't anything that any sane, decent person would be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he said that.
Right.
He was, in fact, most of it wasn't even about him. It was about, you know, all these other examples of brave people or whatever. It briefly touched on what he did without even mentioning it by name. So here's another example of a large company doing a big, largely non-controversial virtue signal on a subject that is in and of itself incredibly controversial for some reason, and reaping the windfall of earned media from it. I mean, they didn't even put it on TV. It's on YouTube. We put stuff on YouTube.